because when you find a good foundation that works for you, it changes everything. Hi friends, I hope you're doing well. Listen, there's a new viral foundation starting to circle. It's brewing, and you better believe I wanted to try it out myself. You guys know how much I love foundations. Like, I collect foundations and lipsticks the most. I've tried everything. And I've been seeing some raving reviews about this foundation over on TikTok, and I was like, okay, I need to see for myself if it's as good as people are saying. The thing I've noticed about TikTok though is a lot of these reviews are first impressions. So everyone's like shocked and saying they love a product or a foundation specifically right after application, which most of us do, let's be honest. So I'm going to take it upon myself to do a full wear test today with this foundation to really give you a super in-depth look at how this foundation performs, and let's see if it's worth the hype. I'm really excited. It looks really pretty on people on camera, even at the first impressions, but we got to see how it wears. That's the point of a foundation. When I tell you I ran to my Ulta, I ran. The foundation we're testing today is this right here. This is from the new brand Polite Society. This is their More Than a Pretty Face skin caring foundation. This retails for $42. There's 30 shades available at Ulta. I honestly sat and swatched these for like 10 minutes straight trying to figure out the right foundation shade for me. I feel like I was in between a couple of shades, so up front I feel like if you're looking for a good shade match, maybe try to go in stores at Ulta. That was really helpful for me because they kind of ran a little bit darker than what I thought they would be. With that being said, I ended up grabbing 2 shades because I really feel like I'm gonna have to mix these, which is not ideal. Everybody's been saying that the packaging looks like an egg, which it kind of does. This is what it looks like. Honestly, there's something about this font that reminds me a little bit of Rare Beauty, which I think is interesting. I think the packaging is really cute. The lid is a little hard to get off. Ah, there we go. I honestly feel like this is darling. It's a nice plastic bottle, so you don't have to worry about it breaking when you travel, which is really nice. I love the pump on it. I ended up picking up the shade Very Fair Cool along with Very Fair Neutral. Hopefully I'll be able to get a good match by mixing these. Immediately on the back, it says it has niacinamide, willow bark, and vegan hyaluronic acid. It says it's going to have a natural, luminous, soft filter finish. It's buildable, medium to full coverage, which I love. I love a good medium coverage foundation. It instantly covers and conceals your unique skin concerns. It's a skincare meets makeup hybrid. It's for all skin types, comfortable, weightless, clean formula, non-toxic, fragrance-free. That's fabulous. Safe for sensitive skin. So it really does seem like it's supposed to be a good for your skin kind of foundation. Let's not waste any more time. Let's try it out. First, I wanted to show you the difference between these 2 shades. I noticed at Ulta, and maybe it's because they were sitting for a while, but there was a bit of separation, so I'm just gonna mix it up. I'm gonna be swatching the very first shade, which is the lightest shade in their range. This is Very Fair Neutral. I feel like it matches my neck, but all over the face, I think I might look a little washed out, which is why I wanted to pick up another shade to mix in. I'm gonna give this a shake too. The other shade I chose was Very Fair Cool. See, there was quite a bit of oil separation on the top, so I just made sure to pump the formula until I got like a nice even mix of foundation, because the texture itself is not actually oily. It has a little bit more of like a thicker feel once it's all mixed up properly. So here's the second shade, which I'll swatch next to it. This is Very Fair Cool. I just feel like this one's a little light. This one has a little bit of a wrong undertone, so I think I'm right in the middle. It's also a little too pink. That's why I think mixing them should work. I'm just gonna mix these half and half so you can see the difference between those 2 colors. I'm gonna mix these together on the back of my hand, and immediately it's creating a really beautiful luminous finish. I'm excited to try this, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna apply this with the CL foundation brush. Let's do one side of the face first, and then we can compare the coverage. I mean, immediately I'm noticing great coverage over my redness. Ooh, okay. This is pretty. I don't want to overdo it. Look at that shade. Yes. The 2 mixed were perfect for me. Okay, here's everything applied with just a brush. Before, after. I mean, the coverage is really, really, really nice. Wow. Yeah. I always like to press in my foundations with a sponge after using a brush. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I just wonder, like when I see a first impression on TikTok especially, without a wear test, if like it's everything that it's cracked up to be. And I feel like I understand why people's first impressions were so like shocking with this, because really it is such a beautiful foundation just upon application. Of course, we're here for a wear test as well, but I mean, that looks really good. And it feels good on the skin. It feels like I don't have foundation on. It almost feels like I just applied a light moisturizer, which is really great. I am curious to see, because I do get oily in the T-zone. This says it's for all skin types, but I think that's where the wear test is going to be really helpful for all of us to see how this actually wears on the skin. But I mean, application-wise, That's beautiful. By the way, another fun fact, this brand is actually started by the founders of Too Faced, which is interesting. They no longer are at Too Faced, obviously, but like they kind of know what they're doing. I believe they started Too Faced in 1998. So they know what they're doing when it comes to cosmetic formulas. Too Faced has some of the most iconic foundations, like their Born This Way foundation is what I wore on my wedding day. Look at that. That's so pretty. It really is. Oh my gosh. We're just gonna press that in with my sponge. Also, kudos to myself for making the perfect foundation cocktail color. It's not ideal, especially if the foundation is $42 a bottle. But if this ends up being, you know, one of my favorite foundations, I think it's worth it to get the proper match, so. Wow. Okay, well, I want to show you guys right now, side by side, a before and after of nothing on my skin versus the foundation only, freshly applied, so you guys can see the difference. This looks stunning. Like, oh, people weren't kidding. They really weren't kidding. I'm excited about this. Like, seriously, my skin looks flawless. See, I love the amount of coverage that it gave, but it doesn't feel or look heavy. It doesn't like cake up on the skin. It has a really amazing, almost watery, but also somehow oily texture that allows it to glide across the skin so evenly. The pigment is distributed very evenly within the foundation as well, and it just looks flawless. That's basically all. So now let's get to the fun part. I'm gonna finish up my makeup. We're gonna do a wear test. I'm gonna wear this for as long as I possibly can today to really see if this foundation is worth the hype. All right, so I just finished my makeup. I love how everything applied on top. I wanted to mention that I didn't wear a primer today and I'm not wearing a setting spray. I like to do that in initial wear test so I can really see how the foundation performs on its own. I did, however, use setting powder. I always do no matter what with any foundation. It's currently 12:15. We're gonna start our wear test. Honestly, I feel like my skin looks really nice. I also skipped highlighter because I like to see how the glow ends up working out on its own without highlight as well. So we kept things pretty matte without the primer, highlighter, or setting spray, but I feel like that's gonna really show us what the foundation itself does as we wear it throughout the day. I mean, my first impressions are it looks really nice. I think I get so excited about foundations because when you find the right foundation, it really makes you feel like you can conquer the world. And that might sound dramatic, but for me anyway, especially through high school and, you know, even just a few years ago when I had super acne prone skin, I still have sensitive skin, but foundations were the source of confidence for me for years. And so I really know the power of a good foundation. I think that's why I'm really excited to see how this wears, because when you find a good foundation that works for you, it changes everything. So let's wear this. Let's see how it goes. I'll see you guys in a little bit for my first check-in, and fingers crossed things look good because I really do love how this applied. You know what? Before I do my check-in, I want my husband to give his first impressions. So he's coming down to help me take some thumbnails, and I'm gonna ask him what he thinks. Sir, I would like to know your first impressions of my foundation.
Oh my, it looks good.
You like that?
It looks pretty.
Looks pretty?
Did you do much like on top of it?
Just my usual. Powder, bronzer.
It looks
I didn't do setting spray.
It looks
Or
very
primer.
like flawless.
Airbrush, I know.
Yeah, airbrush. So
Yeah,
that's
but not like heavy.
no, not like, you know, some foundations they're very airbrushed, but like it's a lot.
Yeah, doesn't look like a lot.
It's like very like porcelain looking.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it holds up.
Okay. Okay, so here's my very first check-in. This is just on my phone in front of a window in natural light. I think it looks really nice. I came upstairs and I looked in the mirror and I have to say, like, it looks really nice, but it's definitely like a foundation. Because of that more medium to full coverage, you look flawless. So it's not one of those like skin tint your skin but better looks. It looks very airbrushed. It looks like a foundation, but in a good way. It's not looking heavy or anything like that. It honestly reminds me a little bit of the Too Faced vibe, their foundation. The Born This Way foundation is much heavier, but what I mean is it just looks like a flawless, very even coverage all over the skin. So just keep that in mind as we wear it today, that if you do try this out, it's going to be more of that like medium to full coverage look, which I personally love. I think there's a time and place for both a more sheer skin tint and a more flawless look. I love both. So here's what we're looking like right now. Let's keep wearing it. I'm excited to see how this holds up throughout the rest of the day. Hello, my friends. It is 2:03 p.m. So I've been been wearing this for almost 2 hours. Honestly, I love how it looks. I'm not noticing any extra sheen or shine anywhere. It just looks healthy. Like my forehead is what usually starts to get oily first. I'm still anticipating that as the day goes on, but so far so good. Let's keep wearing it. All right, we are back. It's 5 o'clock, which means I've been wearing this for almost 5 whole hours. You can see my natural oils are definitely coming through more, especially right here. Normally, I would touch up about now. This is very typical for me. I expect this when it comes to my skin. This happens with every single foundation. But honestly, I really love how the sides of the face look. I love even the forehead I'm fine with right now. It doesn't seem too over the top. If I were to touch up, I would just kind of like even use my fingertip to like press down the center of the face. But I've liked how it's worn. It doesn't feel like it's slipping off right now either. It's still staying intact. At the end of the night, I do want to see how it will look when I refresh with powder, but we'll have to wait till the end of the night to see that. Until then, let's keep wearing this and see where the rest of the night takes us. Alrighty, we are back. It is currently 9:01 p.m. We've been wearing this for almost 9 hours. I'm looking dewy in the T-zone, but that's okay. I feel like this is to be expected. I always get oily in the T-zone. The thing I always look for, especially since I'm not touching up right now, which you guys normally, as I wear foundations throughout the day, I always check up on my T-zone and I always press some powder in there because I just know how my skin works with any foundation. But the thing that I'm really liking and something that I do pay attention to when I do wear tests for the first time without powder is if it separates when your oils do come through. And I'm not seeing any separation. It's still staying intact, which gives me a lot of hope that at the end of the night when I do my little powder touch-up check-in, that things should hopefully look really, really nice. I still love the sides of the face. If you don't have oily skin, I feel like honestly, this could potentially wear a little nicer on you, but I also haven't powdered, so here's where we are right now. Let's keep wearing it for a few more hours. I'm trying to reach the 12-hour mark so we can get a full-on wear test with this foundation. So I'll see you guys in a bit for my next check-in. All right, friends, it is currently 12:22. We have officially reached 12 hours of wearing this foundation. Let's take a look. I mean, I am dewy. This is something I was expecting, to be honest, and it has taken everything in me not to like press these oils off of my face today, but I really wanted to do an honest wear test for you guys so you can see exactly how things look. I think this looks a little too oily for my liking, but again, I did not touch up at all today, as you know. So here's how things are looking. Honestly, it looks better than it could look. Things are not separating. That's the thing that I am paying attention to the most. Usually when I don't touch up throughout the day, a lot of foundations can kind of separate, but I'm not really noticing that too much. I have been telling you guys I've wanted to touch up this entire day, so we're finally going to do that now. I love doing this because it really shows how a foundation could potentially refresh after it gets oily. So I'm going to take the powder that I was wearing, which is the Huda Beauty powder, and let's just try to tap this onto half of the face to see how it refreshes. Starting with this forehead, okay. Doing half the forehead to just see where things are at. And sometimes when I put powder on, at the end of the day, it kind of reveals some of the separation a little bit, so we'll see how things go. Okay, honestly, I feel like that's refreshing pretty nicely. It obviously would have looked a lot better had I caught this earlier as well. I feel like the most oil was right here on my nose. That's what like bothered me the most today, but it's actually wild that there's still foundation on my nose, even with it being that oily. Okay, so you can see it really touched up nicely. You can like tell quite a difference on my forehead. There's like a line right here where I powdered, and the side that's unpowdered is quite a bit more shiny. I feel like the powdered side actually looks really nice, and if it looks this good touching up after 12 hours, I bet you it would have looked really nice had I kept up on it. Around like the 5-hour mark is where I feel like I would have touched up, and I think if I did that, it probably would have looked even better at the 12-hour mark. Yeah, I think that refreshed really nicely. What do you guys think? My skin feels so much better. It's almost like I could feel the oil on my face throughout the day. It feels 10 times better now that I've been able to touch up with a little powder, honestly. That is something that I have to do every day no matter what foundation it is, and I feel like this really refreshed the face. I honestly feel like I could probably wear this for a few more hours. Honestly, you guys, this is a really beautiful foundation. I kind of can see what all the hype is about. I'm actually excited to see how much more beautiful it could look if I just check up on it throughout the day, since I do get oily. I feel like it honestly could be for all skin types, because if you're dry, it feels like it's a really hydrating foundation. Like it feels like a moisturizer, like I said at the beginning. But if you're more oily, it seems as though even if you've got quite a bit of oils coming through, like I did after 12 hours today, and you touch up with powder, things are going to stay intact. So I really do think it could be for all skin types. You would just kind of adjust the amount of powder that you use throughout the day, or if you have super dry skin, maybe you wouldn't even want a powder at all, just depending on you. I really liked how it didn't cling to any areas on the skin. It looks really, really nice. I guess now let's rate this foundation. Just a reminder of my rating system. Green means I'm excited about it. I would definitely wear it again and probably buy it again. Yellow means I enjoyed it, or maybe some of you guys would enjoy it, so I would recommend it, but depends on the person, or maybe it's something I would enjoy and use up but not rebuy again. Red obviously means I would not recommend it. And then I haven't done this yet, but I also have a gold rating, which means like ride or die, cannot live without it type of a product. So for this, honestly, I'm really impressed. I feel like I'm gonna have to wear it to see if it gets a gold, but I feel like it could potentially eventually get there. This is a really, really nice foundation. I'm excited to wear it again. So for me, the Polite Society More Than a Pretty Face Skin Caring Foundation gets a solid green. I really feel like it would look even better had I touched up the way I normally do. The fact that it looks this nice 12 hours in with just one powder refresh, I'm really, really impressed. I was especially impressed with the application, and if I'm not going to wear it for a full 12 hours, I know it's going to look even better than it looked today, but I also have the confidence now that after 12 hours, especially with checkups and touch-ups, it's going to wear really nice. So I am happy that I bought this. I do wish that they had a shade that matched my undertone perfectly, but who knows? Maybe they'll expand it in the future and kind of fill in those gaps between some of the shades. But ultimately, I'm impressed, you guys. Like, I'm really, really excited to keep wearing this. It's nice to have a more full coverage foundation. I've been into a lot of skin tints, as you know, which I think is a whole other vibe, but sometimes it's nice to have like your go-to medium to full coverage foundation that doesn't feel heavy on the skin, and that's exactly what this does. So I'm looking forward to wearing it again. Let me know in the comments, have you guys tried this foundation? What do you guys think? Do you think it lives up to the hype? I personally do, now that I've worn it, but I want to hear from you guys because we're all different. We all have different opinions, especially when it comes to foundation. It's a very like personal product. If you've tried this, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear how it worked for you. As always, let me know what else you want to see me review here on my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I'm wanting to reach 1 million subscribers this year. I have a little goal. So if you want to help me reach that goal, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you.